Hello. Ka lebitso ke Thabo Rastati ke morolong, but most people in my life call me State. I've never made a video before, so I'm just gonna try introduce myself. I have a list. I'd like to think of myself as someone who creates. It's very formal. I have a great passion for comfort. I can leave the grade out. I have a passion for comfort. I have a very great passion for comfort. I am currently a Man City fan. Snacky Puppy's Silver is the finest music I've ever put my ears to. I am married to only one wife. I think driving is a cognitively expensive exercise and I cannot afford it. I despise driving. I find playing FIFA very therapeutic. My favorite thing to look at is the sky, predominantly the clouds and the hue of sunsets. Yeah, I like those. Every time I climb onto a plane, I'm reminded of how desperately ignorant I am. Yeah, but I'm desperate. I do not understand myself well enough to form creative targets. I like well choreographed dance videos. I like watching rap battles.
Lemon squeeze. If he sneezes wrong, I'm lighting him, B. You think he gonna flare up and I don't peel? Invite him and see. Yo!
Just pausing, searching for the meaning of the words, the puns. Yeah, I enjoy doing that.
Vitamin C. It's sickening how they try to rush Remedy Spot not knowing that we would let them in. And vitamin C. So these capsule pill over the counter. I promise he won't leave in the same condition he met us in.
Like, do you get it?
The thing that motivated me to make this video is two things. It's my excitement and it's my confusion. This yearning to figure things out has pushed me to start creating this content. And I always wonder, well, what does it mean to figure it out, States? Does figuring it out mean that the one video you make, people will love it and find value in it? Or does it mean that you love the video that you made and you find value in it? But I also feel like I'm being pedantic. Why would I use a word like that? Pedantic. Excessively concerned with. Before I read this, I just realized that I'm not done with my introduction. I wrote it on the other page on a different day. I actually do not know how to spell a lot of words like restaurant and gorgeous and receive. I mix the I and the E around. I think it's something I can solve. I hope I can. I hope I do. Or maybe I'm just illiterate. Not that it matters, but there's no one in my life who owns a Land Rover. It's not an attack on anyone in my life. It just hit me the other day. Like, there's no one in my life who has a Land Rover. It means nothing. It's just, I don't know why I put it. Monk is my favorite TV series. Breaking Bad being the best TV series of all time. Oh, pedantic. I spelled pedantic with an A. Excessively concerned with minor details or rules. Over-scrupulous. Over-scrupulous. If I knew how to read the word quickly, I was like, rules. Over-scrupulous. His analyses are carefully and even painstaking, but never pedantic. I don't speak like this. Either way, the word means precise, exact, perfectionist, meticulous, fussy, formalist, dogmatic, purist, hypercritical, didactic. I think in my introduction, I should also mention my love for Sherlock Holmes.
Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Mycroft was right all along. I'm an idiot, a sentimental idiot.
From the old ones to the new ones.
Mustn't register on an emotional level.
To the stories that have not been made into movies.
Physical recovery, 6 weeks. Full psychological recovery, 6 months.
I love them. So I had this desire to create content, and I was not sure what kind of content I wanted to create. With the understanding that action produces information, I was like, States, you can't get the information of how to grow before you even start something, so start. So I made a bet with myself to shoot podcasts. So who are you gonna call? What's your podcast about? Start a podcast. No, record 21 episodes. Now, why 21? I won't lie, I was influenced by this other video.
There's this stat that I love about podcasts. 90% of podcasts don't make it past episode 3. And of the 90% that do, 90% don't make it past episode 20. So by making 21 podcast episodes, you're in the top % of all podcasters ever in history.
Obviously, that video is like from a year ago. those numbers have changed. So the bet I made with myself is that I will not post the first episode until I'm done with the 21st episode. So I am 21 episodes in. They were not a walk in the park. I also don't think that my parents were like sitting there looking at me as soon as they give birth to me and thinking, oh my God, we just give birth to a fine podcaster. I'm doing that pedantic thing. Let me not digress. Hey, States, what's your podcast about? Hey, States. Hey, man, what's your podcast about? So what's your podcast about? I think after 21 episodes, the true answer is that I do not know. I do not know what this podcast is about. I don't feel like 21 episodes is enough to figure out what it's about. I also realize that I'm not in a hurry to figure out what it's about. I hope I figure it out. But I think I'm tired of being referred to as a creative person, and I'm tired of viewing myself as a creative person when I'm not participating in the creative stuff. I think it's the frustration that has pushed me to take this first step of creating these videos. It's like being called a father by so many people when you don't have a child. You don't want to, I don't know, have a baby or something, just so that there's a point of reverence and resonance to why you are called a father. Either way, since actions produce information, this has left a mark on me in this first few steps that I've taken into this journey. I hope that in the meantime I build my basis of this until I find a basis. So I'd say that join me in this process as I try to figure it out. Yeah, it's not a very compelling thing to ask people to join. It's like asking people to join your frustration. But either way, we'll see where this leads us. But I think in the midst of all this confusion, there's a place I go for wisdom, for understanding, to understand my roots. And I think I need to go there at the beginning of this journey.
As true it's about idea about it, ka one ka mona no ke di idea tse dintšhwa bona. So ka ba tlhalose gore e re ke kwa ke phela ke yang ona for maele.
O dile mo wrong place. Bo ra trotse. Ba se torgo di tsa tombo tsa re go beletse. Nanga tsule go eletse. Wena swantse o eletse nna.
I also think I undermined this content creating stuff. It's a handful. Thank you.
Batho ba tšeo ye go makgonkwa nna se regent ane melao ya rena ya feile a nyetse batho ba ka majuela mo rena re dielo tša rena mo batho re thapelela a nyetse ba ye go lesenkeng kwa rena re imo dile itshwantse ko sekone
Physics big feeling.
na ile go tago go tša ka
Or vector
vector quantity
o
tsona keng
okay